Welcome to the Graphing Definitions Overview. So in this video, we will go over three main things: the graphing basics, some important words, and some of the research designs. So the graphing basics, what you need to know. So what is a graph? Well, it's a visual representation of the occurrence of a behavior. It also makes it easier for researchers and observers to just put down their data to be viewed and analyzed easier. Some components of the graph are the abscissa, or the x-axis. In this case, we all use it for time, and the ordinate, or the y-axis. And this is usually used for the levels of behavior and measurements of it. So there are 6 things you really need to complete a graph: the x and y-axis, the labels for the axes, numbers on the axes, the data points, phase lines, and phase labels. So baseline and treatment. Well, the baseline is just the behavior where nothing changes. There is no modification to the original behavior. And usually on graphs, this is usually labeled with an A. And treatments are where there are modifications placed on the behavior to see if it increases or decreases the behavior, and it's usually labeled with B. If there are multiple treatments, like we will see in later slides, they can be labeled as C, D, and E, and etc., or as many, which is needed. Each different letter is representing a different modification. So here are some necessary research words that you should know. Here are some research words. The first one is research designs. These are designs used to determine if the treatment was responsible for the change in target behavior. There's also the dependent and independent variable. The dependent variable is the target behavior. What are we trying to change? And the independent variable is what the researcher manipulates to produce the changes. And here's a big one, the functional relationship. What does it mean? Well, a functional relationship means that there is a relationship between the target behavior and the procedure that is used to change it. And there are 2 main criteria. Target behavior only changes when the independent variable is manipulated and the procedure is replicated or repeated more than 1 time. Here are some research designs. The AB design is one set of a baseline and one set of a treatment. Since there's no replication or more than 1 run of this is not a true research design, and it does not represent a functional relationship like we discussed in the previous slides. Here is an example of an AB treatment design. There's 1 baseline and 1 treatment, which in this case is praise. An AB-AB reversal design, on the other hand, is just an extension of an AB design. And because it's an extension and there's repetition, it is a functional relationship. Note that ethics has to be considered before going forward with an AB-AB reversal design, because we don't want to go back to a baseline that can hurt someone. Like, say, if we're trying to reduce the behavior of headbanging on a wall, we do not want to go back to a baseline which the behaviour would continue banging their head on the wall, of course. Here is an example of an AB-AB design. We got the baseline twice and intervention twice, which is peer tutoring in this case. Changing criterion design, on the other hand, even though it has 1 baseline and 1 treatment like the AB design, is different. In this treatment phase, the criterion, or what zone we want the behavior to be in, decreases or increases based on like if we want the behavior to go up or down. And there can be a follow-up as well. Here we got a changing criterion graph. You can see that the behavior after the baseline starts to decrease. There are also lines that indicate the changing criterion that the behavior has to meet. Alternating treatments, on the other hand, there are 2 conditions that are alternated in rapid succession. This can be a baseline treatment that are alternated, or 2 different treatments. This removes some concerns of extraneous variables or other variables that can affect a dependent variable, such as time of day or something that is out of the researcher's control. Here is an example of an alternating treatments graph. There is one session of non-treatment, and then there's a quick alternating between treatment A and treatment B. And finally, we got multiple baselines. There are 3 multiple baseline research designs that we can do. There's across settings, targeting the same subject and behavior in 2 or more settings, across behavior, targeting one subject with 2 or more behaviors, or across subjects, targeting the same behavior in 2 or more subjects. And here we got a multiple baselines example graph. You can quickly tell that there are multiple graphs to describe the multiple different baselines that we have. In this case, we are looking at different communities. And because we are looking at different communities, we can assume that is a cross subjects design. And that is it. Thank you so much.